Hello everybody, welcome back. More Motorsport Manager coming your way now. Ernie's Paradise has reached the 10th event as we make our way a little deeper into the second half of the year. For the last several races, in fact for most of the season, we've been maintaining a lead of about 60 points, give or take. It's been going up and down some, but it's been pretty stable since a good start to the season. We're working on the front wing development, and we're working on trying to improve the current parts that we currently have, but you can see our car continues to slide. It is now actually considered slightly below average. Well, no, not slightly below average, but less than half as good as the top teams. Just above average. So we've got to continue hitting that with everything we've got to make sure we can hold on to this advantage. And of course, it's only Steinman now that we're worried about. Nobody else is close enough to be any kind of a threat. Okay, XBC Sport. Engine seems to be holding the team back. Is it true? I'm just going to say she needs to button it. She took that well. And Wexler, of course, winning. Chapman and Schmidt. So, it wasn't our best day, but we did okay. Now, what do we want to boost for Tondela? Well, we want to boost the gearbox and the front wing. We're going to stay away from the front wing because we're developing a new one. So that's kind of pointless. Let me see where we're at in that development. Refresh my memory on that. Yeah, we've built three parts. Got a couple more to go. So we're just going to leave that be, and we're going to focus in on the gearbox. And yeah, switch these guys up. Okay, so we have enough to do the gearbox. What happens? I mean, obviously it's not gonna, we're not gonna get it all the way there. I want to get these just about topped out. There's actually very little work to do here, actually. They are pretty close. So I'll wait till they're almost there, and then I'll throw in the engine along with them. I think that's the best plan here. I don't think we have any reliability issues at all. And there's our front wing. So I believe we're going to design now the first one that we actually want to use. Yep, we got 5 slots to choose from. So what things do we want to use? Max performance instantly upgraded. That would be nice, but I'm still going to go for peak performance here. None of those are too exciting. I don't care about qualifying. So a lot of these basically suck. Plus 20. Plus 10 with increased reliability. Minus 10 red zone. I like the look of all of those. This is a good one. And this hits the reliability, but it's still nice. Yeah, that's only ultimately going to be worth 20. It's still better than this one, though. So the reliability is going to tank, but we can get this all the way up to 1159. And I don't think there's anything else that's better. Because this is plus 20 to max. This is minus 20 to max, but plus 40. So that's probably better. Hang on. Nope, it's still going to max out 1159. Because this gives a plus 40 and then subtracts the 20. So this is actually better. Takes a little bit longer, but it's better. Okay, I think that's what I'm going with. And then let's see how 1159 compares to what we're using now. Yeah, over 100 point gain. It's not a huge gain. It's going to help us some. And not too excited about our car. I think we can go for, yeah, that should do it. Okay, they've opened a wind tunnel. I don't care. Excited about our first place standing. And now, yeah, we're 1 point down on each of those. So let's definitely throw the engine back in there for some improvements. And also that rear wing. And we're not going to get close to boosting those, but we'll get them as far as we can. Look at our brakes. Our brakes are maxed out. And our suspension is close. So those are really the other two parts to concern ourselves with. Okay. "62 laps. Boy, is that going to be long. Very low chance of rain. It's a short track. So a little over a minute, if even that much. The gearbox is the key. Scuderia Rossini have the best. Super soft, soft, and medium. And Nikolai Surkov wants better brakes. Well, we're working on the front wing now. I mean, might consider doing the brakes next. We'll see. Now, our gearbox is 4th, but it's near the top. So with that being a key part for this track, I mean, it's the best part that we could ask for, so. Oh, you're going to whine about the money we're spending. Go away. Scuderia Rossini figures to be favorites, and that would be fine. They can do as well as they want. Chapman saying it's time to start reeling sharp in. Well, good luck with that. And Javier Vazquez is whining about his team. Oh, we have publicity opportunity. They want to use Zoe Sharp in upcoming media campaigns. And I'm just going to say no, I don't really need the money. So let's see how our car is doing as we head off. Seems to have improved slightly, still 5th. Engine's still in 8th. Let's see, 4th. 6th on the brakes, still above average. Front wings are 4th, 4th, and 8th on the rear wings, even though they have gotten closer up here. They're just a hair above average. So let's take a look at how we're doing in here. Yeah, those are still 1 point down. The engine, we did get most of our improvement there, as you'd expect. Worked on that more because those are the ones that needed it more. And really, our improvements to the engine are not catching us up really at all. We might have caught up a tiny bit over the gains that we're making, but mostly we're just keeping it from getting worse. So, I mean, I was hoping to get more of a gain than that, but it's not happening. Gonna keep with this. I don't think we're good enough to aim for first place. And this is definitely going to be medium tires on this track. That's for sure. And with 62 laps, I know we're not going to use the supers, so I'm just going to go with a fourth set of mediums, knock it down to supers. Because with us, unless there's, the only way it would happen is if there is a sprinkler situation, and we'll still have enough to use one for practice and one for that. So that's what I'm going to stick with. We are up to 7th and 8th, though. Last time our prediction was 8th and 9th, so either we've made a slight bit of progress, or more likely they're just basing that off, well, we have a competitive gearbox, and that's the key item here. Hot weather was predicted for Friday for the race, and hot weather is certainly what we're getting. Whoops. That's a crucial part. Two crucial parts today. Puts us back up to 420, and actually need to remember well, I'll adjust it later, but I think Zoe Sharp is going to have that ability to ignore the red zone, which I'll draw a bit lower on. And at least Sharp got up to 9th, about a second off the pace. So that should at least keep the fan whining down to a minimum. Well, this is now the third attempt at the Tondela race, and it's a little bit troubling because Steinman has just sort of been blowing by the field fairly early, going up to the lead. And both times they would have finished first and second. And even last race, you know, we only lost a few points to him last race. The race before, Sharp won. And this is a race that should be fairly favorable for us because of our pretty strong gearbox. But they're really blowing us away, and it's a little bit too early in the season for that. The first time I went with medium tires, and that caused a problem because this really isn't a good track for that in terms of spacing out the stints. It's just a little bit too long. So I would have to stop twice anyway instead of stopping once. And get through like 58 or so of 62 laps. Just can't quite get there. So then the second time, I went with super softs and then a pair of softs, which is sort of the best 3-stint combo, I think. And trying to keep up with them early on in the race, not only couldn't I quite keep up with them anyway, but then, as soon as I came into the pits, shortly afterwards, we had sprinklers. And so that sort of ruined my whole strategy. So things have really got to go right for me in this race to even stay, to not lose like 30 points or so, lose like half the lead. And that's pretty concerning. Hopefully, it doesn't continue on that way. But we're really going to need to try to milk everything we can out of the rest of this season to have a chance of holding on to this lead, it looks like. So let's see if we can do any better on this attempt. And of course we're going to push it to the limit again with Sharp. We're going to go with the softs for Surikov. That'll be what we're doing most of the race on, barring a whole bunch of rain. The fuel amount is 44, taking off 18 laps of it for this. And last time, I'm going to go a little more aggressive with the tires. They do heat up very quickly. Last time I only went flat out for one lap, then went down to neutral. I'm going to try to go the second lap on push, but that does mean that I'll have to back off the tires a little bit sooner in terms of going down to conserve. So we'll see if that is actually going to be a positive thing for me at all, or if it's just going to cause more problems. Trying to maintain a balance between staying up with everybody and being able to get what we need to out of the tires. And there we're up to 720. Okay, now at the back of the field, we got Chapman, a 4 on used tires. Sharp is looking good, Surikov decent, Holt's pretty good ahead of us on a full set. But again, we should be able to get by people using the faster tires. Unfortunately, it really hasn't worked out great that way. So let's see what happens with this attempt. Bit of a slow start for Sharp, decent for Surikov, and you can see Chapman pushing up. Look at that. Oh, Chapman going wide. Boy, that's just such a shame for Chapman to have a bad start like that. And look at Surikov just pressing up and like multiple rows, 3 wide. But wow, great start for Surikov, already up into the top 10 and looking for more. Sharp not moving up much, starting to look for it though. Surikov 6th. And Holt's down in 17th. Holt's not good. Okay, so we've got a really fortunate situation where they're having some bad luck at Steinman. So this may be the break we needed. Sharp up to 15th and 16th. But right now we're ahead of both of their cars, and that has definitely not happened on any of the previous attempts. I don't know how long it lasts, but I'm going to take it. Surikov fighting now for 3rd. Incredible, but Sharp still stuck down in 16th. But Surikov going nuts here, and now we have to switch down to neutral. So we'll see how long that lasts. We're going to go, even though we're going to get a little bit into the red, I'm going to do another lap on neutral just to try to absorb a little bit of that early push by everybody that they like to go super aggressive on. Sharp up to 12th. Chapman 14th. Holt's down in 17th, 16th. But here's Surikov looking like he's going to be the race leader. Let's go conserve now and see if we can get like the rest of this lap and one more. So we're coming in after 17 and hoping there's no rain in the future. It means we've got to get 45 more laps out of these 2 softs. And we will definitely stay conserve for now. Yep, and it might have been pushing it a little bit to get this extra lap out of these. Be interesting to see where everything shakes out after everybody pits. Surikov in. He's going to come out in second, just behind Oliveira. We'll go neutral here and try to get that spot back right away. Sharp falling back a lot further. But also with a car in front to pick on into Graf. So we still lead Steinman at the moment, and they'll have to come in. But they could be going for a one-stop strategy themselves. And now we'll switch. Just try to get a little more speed out of these last few laps. Oliveira has now cut it back. Oh, hold on. There we go. Now we got sprinklers. Okay, what are we going to be dealing with? I think we're dealing with inters. And we're going to go conserve here so that we have enough tires to get to the point where we'd actually really want to come in. Now we'll come in. Chapman going inters now. What about Holtz? Holtz staying out there. You can see Moreno is on inters and going faster than we are. It's getting wet enough that it would be dangerous to stay out on regular tires anyway. Let's start out neutral. Sharp out in fourth. Surikov second. Good distance behind Oliveira, but we're going to track that down pretty quick. And Chapman now 13 seconds behind after the pit. Will make up some of that time. But I don't see any way that he makes it all up. And there's Holtz with the new fastest lap. So that puts that in Steinman's point total. But still, I mean, a 20-point win here would give us our biggest lead yet. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory here compared to the first couple of tries. Now Wexler takes it. Very nice. Zoe Sharp with her best lap of the race despite being on low. That's interesting. And now the track is drying out, but anybody else who wants to go dry tires will have to pit again, which would sort of defeat the point of them doing it. Let's drop back to conserve for these last few laps. We are going to get into the red. But with 3 laps to go, we should have enough to go neutral. Or medium, rather, on the engine. And Sharp slowly catching Surikov here, but not enough to make a serious run at it. Nikolai Surikov definitely going to be the man in the winner's circle. And keep his spot in that second-tier group of drivers behind Sharp and Chapman. Could very well move up to 3rd position after this. Yeah, we know. Just keep right on going. There's nothing else for it. And Nikolai, go ahead and take your victory lap. You earned that with your great start to this race. Really wearing down the tires now, but we are in the last lap. Chapman still almost 10 seconds behind. Way too far to make a challenge. Holtzen 7th. And barely going to make it on those tires. Just sitting at, 10%. Humble. Nice. Real humble. A driving genius. But I will take it. You know what? Get a little cocky about yourself. Because that's a great win. It's going to go a long way towards locking down this title for Panther Race Team. And this race, as much as any that I've done, really just proves it's better to be lucky than good. And after the parts check, Javier Vasquez loses 2 spots, which is going to help Holtz. Harry Chapman gets the fastest lap, but we're still winning this by a solid margin. And Surikov passed Wexler up into with a decent margin here also, up into 3rd position overall. An 84-point lead. Oh, just a hair under 2 races worth of points now, with 6 to go. Now, that's not an impregnable lead, but we'd have to have consistent disasters the rest of the way to not win. Feeling much better about this. And everybody talking about how great we did. It only took 3 tries. So the usual improvements, everybody's happy. Marketability doesn't change despite winning, that's annoying. 6.0 for Surikov. That's his 2nd best of the year after Vancouver. And Sharp's 6.5, her 2nd best after Phoenix. So both drivers turning in a strong performance. Plus we got lucky with Steinman getting off to the bad start. That's what this is down to. More money coming in. And still a struggle keeping everybody else up with the car. We're in 5th still, just above average. But we're getting to the point where that's not going to matter that much anymore. We've got another front wing that's going to be finishing soon. We'll be heading off to Milan, where I expect us to struggle mightily with the speed there. But really going to have to start running out the clock here. Only 6 races left. So when we come back on Motorsport Manager, off to Italy, where we'll try to lose as little of our lead as possible. I think will be the approach. Continue improving the car and move 1 step closer to victory on the Ernie's Paradise Challenge. Till then, thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.